Organic foods. The truth behind the label. Everywhere you look, something is organic. Organic apples, organic coffee, organic skincare, even organic pet food. It's become such a buzzword that sometimes it feels like if it's not organic, it's not good enough. But here's the big question. What does organic actually mean? Is it a marketing trick to get us to pay more? Or is there solid science and ethics behind it? Today, we're going to break this down. What organic is, how it's grown, how it's different from conventional farming, what the benefits are for you and for the planet. And yes, some of the myths and misconceptions too. By the end, you'll know exactly what's behind that little green label. What does organic mean? Let's start with the basics. The word organic is not just a nice adjective, it's a legally defined standard in most countries. If we're talking about food, organic refers to the way it's produced, processed, and handled, and it covers both plant-based and animal-based foods. For crops, organic farming means no synthetic pesticides or herbicides. Instead, farmers might use things like neem oil, insect-repelling companion plants, or even introduce beneficial insects like ladybugs to control pests. No synthetic fertilizers. Instead of a chemical boost, organic farms use compost, manure, or plant-based fertilizers to feed the soil, not just the crop. Absolutely no genetically modified organisms, GMOs. Organic farmers must use seeds that are naturally bred, not genetically engineered. Emphasis on biodiversity, planting different crops, rotating fields, and encouraging beneficial wildlife. For animals, it means no growth hormones to speed up weight gain. No routine antibiotics. Antibiotics are only used if an animal is sick and needs treatment, not as a preventative in feed. Access to outdoor areas, fresh air, and pasture where possible. And here's the important part. To call a product organic on the label, the producer must follow strict standards and pass inspections by a certified authority. For example, in the US, that's the USDA. In Europe, it's the EU Organic Certification. In India, it's the India Organic Mark. In Australia, a CO or NASAR. This certification process checks farms and facilities every year to ensure compliance. How organic differs from conventional farming. Now, how is this different from conventional farming, what many people call non-organic? First, the obvious difference is in the inputs. Conventional farming relies heavily on synthetic fertilizers to boost plant growth and synthetic pesticides to control pests. These can be very effective for large-scale production, but can also leave residues on food and have environmental side effects. Second, soil management. Organic farmers see soil as a living ecosystem, rich in bacteria, fungi, and organic matter. They work to keep that soil alive and healthy, because healthy soil supports healthier plants. Conventional farming, in some cases, can treat soil more like a platform to hold roots, while feeding plants directly with chemical nutrients. Third, biodiversity. An organic farm might have a patch of wildflowers for bees, hedgerows for birds, and crop rotation to keep pests at bay. Large-scale conventional farms sometimes prioritize uniform crops over biodiversity. Fourth, GM. Organic farming prohibits genetically modified seeds and animals, while conventional farming often uses them, especially for crops like corn, soy, and canola. And finally, food processing. Organic products can't contain artificial colors, preservatives, or flavor enhancers. So your organic strawberry jam will be colored by strawberries, not by red dye No. 40. Nutritional differences. So, what about nutrition? Is organic actually healthier for your body? Here's what the research says. Some studies show organic fruits and vegetables have slightly higher antioxidant levels, compounds that help fight oxidative stress in the body. Organic milk and meat often have higher omega-3 fatty acids, thanks to animals grazing on fresh pasture, rather than grain-based diets. Organic produce generally has lower detectable pesticide residues. Now, let's be realistic. The nutrient difference isn't always dramatic. An organic apple and a conventional apple might have similar amounts of vitamin C, but the difference often lies in what you don't get with organic, less synthetic chemical residue, and farming practices that may support better soil health over the long term. Health considerations. Pesticide exposure is a big reason many people switch to organic. While most conventional produce is considered safe under national limits, there's growing concern about the cumulative effect of eating small amounts of pesticides over many years. Children, pregnant women, and people with certain health sensitivities are particularly vulnerable. Another factor is antibiotics in meat and dairy. Overuse of antibiotics in conventional livestock farming can contribute to antibiotic rise in bacteria, a serious public health threat. Organic livestock farming strictly limits antibiotic use, reducing this risk. And finally, artificial additives. Organic food processing avoids things like synthetic preservatives, artificial flavors, and certain emulsifiers that some people prefer to avoid for personal or health reasons. Environmental impact. Beyond personal health, organic farming can have major benefits for the environment. Soil health. By using compost, cover crops, and reduced tillage, organic farms can increase soil organic matter, making soil more fertile and resilient. Water quality. Without synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, there's less risk of chemical runoff polluting rivers and lakes. Biodiversity. Organic farms tend to support more pollinators, beneficial insects, and birds. Now, here's the nuance. Organic farming often has lower yields per acre compared to conventional farming, meaning it might require more land to produce the same amount of food. However, many argue that long-term soil health and reduced chemical pollution make it a better trade-off. Economic and market perspective. Organic foods tend to cost more. That's because the farming is more labor-intensive, the yields can be lower, certification is expensive, and there's higher wastage because organic crops may be more vulnerable to pests and weather. Despite the higher price tag, the organic market is booming worldwide. People are willing to pay for perceived health benefits, environmental sustainability, and food safety. Common misconceptions. There are a few myths worth clearing up. Organic means healthy. Not always. Organic cookies are still cookies. Organic means pesticide-free. Not true. Organic farming can use natural pesticides, but they are generally less toxic and used more sparingly. Organic means local. Not necessarily. Your organic avocado might have traveled halfway across the world. Being organic doesn't automatically make a food more nutritious or sustainable. It depends on the full context. How to identify and choose organic. When shopping, look for certification logos. Terms like natural or eco-friendly are not the same as certified organic. If you're on a budget, consider focusing on organic versions of produce that tend to have the highest pesticide residues in conventional farming. Strawberries, spinach, apples, grapes, and peppers, for example. And remember, eating plenty of fruits and vegetables, organic or not, is better than avoiding them altogether. Organic is more than a label. It's a philosophy about how food should be grown, processed, and brought to your table, with an eye toward health, sustainability, and ethics. But it's also important to shop smart and understand what you're paying for. The best choice is an informed choice, and now, you have the facts to make it. If this video helped you understand organic foods better, share it so others can make informed choices too.